Welcome back, you guys. I have some time. So you know what happens when I have time. If I have time, I'm going to take the opportunity to talk to you. So you guys, I'm going to go ahead and jump right in because I want to get this off of my chest and out of my head and into your ears before I forget it, because this is coming right off the top of the dome. I'm sitting here. Well, first, let me introduce myself to all of my newcomers. My old school OGs, y'all know what it is. Y'all know who I am. My name is Miss L. This is the Altered Image, the Unfiltered Truth. And today is Friday, you guys. This is a day where people do a lot of shopping. I'm sitting here in my silky PJs and so happy that I did not have to wake up to an alarm today. Woo! I'm happy about not even having to put no makeup on my face, although I enjoy creating, so I don't mind wearing the makeup. Nope, I sure don't at all. But I'm glad to be able to chill. And while I'm chilling, you guys, I'm in my living room, and so you might hear airplane sound off. You might also hear me clear my throat from time to time, and you also might hear one of my neighboring roosters cock-a-doodle-doo, but that's how we do on this island here in Key West. So please, I'm going to go ahead and give the disclaimer. Please forgive all of those unwanted and uninvited noises that may find our way into today's season 4 first episode podcast. So you guys, I told you I had time. I've been here reflecting. And you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about my man. I'm thinking about Vinny. And I thought to myself, how did I know that he was the one? And then I thought, you know what? Let me talk to my friends about how throughout my many relationships and my hiccups and my triumphs that I decided that Vinny is the one to keep. Y'all, let me just say this. Throughout different times in our lives, we're going to realize that we need certain things in relationships. So that's why a long-term commitment like marriage can be so tricky if y'all don't do this thing right. Now, myself, I'm not going to get married again, not because I don't believe in the institution of marriage, but I do believe that it has its place. For me, I'm kind of like Oprah Winfrey when it comes to marriage in terms of the mindset. I feel like marriage is very necessary when you are on the pathway of raising or, trying to get a family in place. If you are one to want to, orchestrate a family, bring some new individuals into the world, I do believe if it can be done, not that it has to be done this way, but because I came from a 2-parent family, it's kind of cool when you have some help. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that single parents cannot be strong nurturers, because trust me, I had both of my parents, and I've already done some episodes about that. I digress. It's not all about, it's about partnership, and it's about assistance. And I think that when you are raising children, I think that you need to get all of the partners that you can get. Sometimes those partners show up as husband and wife and wife, husband and husband, guardians, grandparents, teachers, mentors, wherever that help needs to come from. I advocate all the help that you can concoct when it comes to raising a family, because that's necessary. So I kind of went off a little bit on the topic, but let me bring it back in. Marriage is not for everybody, but for those individuals that is for, I definitely salute you, and I respect you. This is what I want to say about that. It doesn't matter if it's marriage. It doesn't matter what term that you decide to place upon your relationship. If it's going to be for the long haul, y'all, you got to learn how to be friends first. And I mean friends first. Now, let me just give you a tiny bit of background about my choices prior to Vinny. I used to be a personal trainer. I have been around beautiful bodies for a long time. I started training when I was about 24. I'm 54. I'm still at it. So needless to say, as a personal trainer, when I was a personal trainer back in 2013 and on up, I realized that after having been in the gym around a lot of beautiful bodies, that they could become quite the distraction. And that they were. They were beautiful distractions. But I quickly realized that behind those beautiful distractions was not the amount of intellectual stimulation that I needed for myself. So those beautiful bodies became quite boring after some time. In my marriage, I will say this about my marriage. I'm not going to say anything negative about my ex-husband because although he was a narcissist who was broken down and created by narcissistic parents. And I will say that he did provide very in-depth intellectual growth for me. I think I was inspired by his ambition to become as ambitious as I was. So I will say that my ex-husband did provide the mental stimulation, and he also had a beautiful body. So it made sense to me that this would be the person that I should marry. Right? Huh, wrong. Do you know why my ex-husband and I did not work out? I'll tell you. There are a plethora of reasons, and of course, many of them are grounded in the whole narcissistic dynamic of what that relationship was grounded inside of. However, what also was a detriment to our relationship is that both of us were very ambitious, career, goal-oriented people. And by me being a natural alpha female, trying to take on the domestic responsibilities that he expected and required was very challenging for a person like me. So we always bumped heads on, I was always being accused as being the person who wanted to be the man in the relationship because, y'all, for real, I was trying to open a book. I wasn't really trying to do some of those traditional domestic things that women are to do in a traditional marital relationship. I wasn't that person. So we bumped head a lot because of that. Getting back to friendship, you all, let me just say this. On paper, my ex-husband and I looked like a power couple. We were both, and we did really cool, wonderful things. Like if you were a Facebook scroller, you probably were highly entertained by the many pictures that documented all of the wonderful and marvelous places that my ex-husband and I went and the cool things that we did. But can I tell you something about those pictures, you all? Those pictures were of a married couple, doing the best they could to distract themselves from each other because we could hardly really stand. No, I don't want to say we could stand to look at each other. We weren't that bad. But we were a couple that required a lot of distractions in our relationship because for real, we weren't friends. We were not friends. So we didn't really have chill time where we sat. We had grounded, in-depth conversations about, it could be anything from, politics to lesson planning to, whatever pharmaceutical thing that he was trying to do. We did not have those type of conversations because we were not friends. And I will also say this, neither one of us knew how to be a good friend to each other. So after I realized that something huge was missing in my marriage, realized that huge thing that was missing above everything else was friendship, y'all. So when you're trying to decide whether or not the person that you're vibing with, that you're rocking with, that you're kicking it with is the one for you, you really need to really ask yourself, is that person my homie for real? Like, is that person in this thing with me 10 toes down? Is that person going to be able to grow with me and love me as I'm growing through my trauma, or as I'm growing to my next financial opportunity, or as I'm growing to my next mental health breakthrough, wherever that growth is happening in your life, you guys, you got to know that whoever your partner is, that person's got to be your friend. Your friend. Like, you all should be able to be cool with going out. That's cool. If you want to, experience some moments together, do some new things, have some new experiences, that's awesome. That's awesome, you guys. You should do that. But also, on the flip side of that, you should also be very content to just chill. Just chill, y'all. Have a conversation. Throw on some, you know what Vinny and I do? I ain't even gonna lie. We get the incense going, y'all. We get our candles popping. We got these little, what do you call these little small little lights? And we turn off all the bright lights, you guys. We sit down. I may have some wine. He might get his Hennessy. Y'all. And we just vibe out. We just vibe, y'all. We will talk about anything from a lint on the nightstand or the TV stand to some aspiring jazz artist up and coming to something political that happened, in the school environment, anything, but we will talk, you guys, about everything and anything and nothing at the same time, because we're friends. When I feel cute, I can get up and get cute. But when I don't feel like being cute, then I can get up and then he looks at me and the look in his eyes when he looks at me is always the same, whether I'm super duper fly or whether I'm just chilling. It doesn't even matter, because you know what he sees before he sees any title that society can give me? He sees his friend first. And it is the friendship that we have learned to create between us that keeps the smiles on both of our faces. Now, you're wondering, how did I know that he was the person that I could trust to start this building friendship thing with? How did I know that? And you probably want to also know, how did I know that Vinny was the person that I could trust with this new friendship thing? And once I decided to trust, how then did I know that Vinny was going to be around for the long haul to implement this friendship journey, and hopefully maybe it'll turn into something more with? Well, let me answer the first question. How did I know it was Vinny? I knew it was Vinny when I could say things like, Vinny, blah, 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 but I'm not really that. And so before the blah, 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 blah part was me trying to low-key give myself a compliment because I was fishing for his compliments because I was suffering from low self-esteem. But you know what Vinny did? He recognized that I was suffering from low self-esteem, but rather than make me feel even worse, he entertained it. He said, you don't need to be blah, 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 because you're already more than, or you're already there. Or he always had something positive to say when I was fishing for those compliments because I needed them at that time. Vincent never judged me. He didn't judge me in my brokenness ever. And even when he stayed quiet and he accommodated my brokenness, he did so out of compassion. And so that compassion led to trust. And once I knew that I could trust him, well, the layers of friendship started continuing to grow. And then that growth manifested itself into love. And so before I knew it, I was in love with my best friend. So that is how I knew. How do I know that Vinny is going to be in it for the long term? I'll tell you how I know, you guys. There's a big difference in being in a relationship via marriage or via any kind of title or institution that society may lock you in. It's different. If you can achieve that with your friend, that is amazing. That is the goal. At least it should be. However, when you are in a relationship, when you are with your friend and in a relationship with your best friend, The way that you know that it will continue to grow. Oh, there's the rhyme. I was wondering when it was coming. You guys, I don't script this, so I wonder if I'm going to get a rhyme. Well, there it is. Womp, there it is. The way that you know that your relationship will continue to grow in the friendship and whatever love that's inspired in addition to that friendship is that friendship never dies. See, friendship is not judgmental. So when you're not judging, there is space to accommodate the growth that's necessary when people change into better versions of themselves. See, a friend is going to be there with you as you're changing, as you're growing, and they're going to celebrate you. And guess what? As a good friend to that partner of yours, you're going to be oh too pleased, oh too willing, and all too excited to celebrate them too, with the same passion that they are celebrating you. That's when you know it's real, y'all. That's when you know you've got something way deeper than just the title of a relationship. You got it. You got that whole thing on lock. That relationship is grounded in friendship. You want your forever? Go find your friend. Go find your friend. Leave the distractions alone, because the beautiful distractions are only that. They're only beautiful distractions. You guys, if you want your forever, if you're wondering if he or she is the one, ground that question in this one here. Are they your friend? Because if the answer to that question is yes, then you might need to take a second look at your friend and entertain the fact that they might just be what you need to become something a little bit more than just your friend. Trust me, I did it. I did it. Wow, I did it. And I tell you one thing, y'all. I'm so happy I did. All right, look at that. You got 2 episodes in one. This is season 4. Episode 1, you got 2 episodes in 1 week. You know, when I let you guys down, I feel like I gotta make up. I gotta make up for the time that I've missed with you guys. So on that note, it is still a holiday and festive mood. So I am not going to keep you. It is now 17 minutes, 30 seconds. Whoopoo! This is Miss L. Please subscribe to both the YouTube and the Altered Image podcast on all listening platforms. This is the Altered Image, the unfiltered truth. You guys have an amazing remainder of your Thanksgiving weekend. I love you. And you know what? So does your friend. Go find them. Love you. Mean that. Mwah. Bye, y'all.